All right. Hello. This is Nicole Burnett with Burnett Real Estate Company at Keller Williams here in Gig Harbor, Washington. I'm here with my good friend M.Steuart. She's a lender with First Centennial Mortgage, licensed actually both in Illinois and Washington State. And we decided we would have a little discussion today and record it for all of you because as this coronavirus has continued to become more and more of have more and more of an effect on our lives and businesses. As real estate agents, we're getting a lot of questions around what does this mean? What does this do to my refinance? Or is now a time to buy, etc. And so I thought I would just ask a few questions and Melissa will tell us what she knows. So thanks so much for taking time with us today, Melissa.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I think the big conversation that's happening right now is that the Fed has cut rates to zero. And the question is realtors we're getting is, so does that mean mortgage rates are going to go to zero?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the answer is unfortunately no. The Fed, when they cut the rates, they're cutting the prime interest rate, and the prime interest rate is actually tied to items like savings accounts, home equity loans, CDs, credit cards, student loans, things like that. Mm-hmm. We are actually kind of follow the 10-year treasury note more, and since that has been pretty volatile this week, the rates have been kind of moving up and down a lot.
Okay, that's great to know. Fantastic. Okay, so then are you seeing a significant difference between refi rates and purchase loan rates?
No, actually they are, I looked it up today and they were exactly the same. So I think for a little bit last week, it looked like the refinance rates were a little higher, but not this week. They're pretty much the same if you take into account the same amount of fees. Sometimes people just don't want to pay any fees with refinances and the rate can be a touch higher than a purchase rate because of that.
Okay, and so have you seen, I mean, I know that we talked about this with a lot of our mutual clients that, you know, a lot of them were encouraged to get into refinances in the last month. So what's your workload been looking like?
Yes, everybody is slammed. I mean, I heard on the news that this was the busiest the mortgage business has been in 35 years. And that is true. Every single bank is overloaded with refinances. I know that for Centennial, we prioritize purchases always. So purchases will always get done before any refinances get done. So everything on the purchase level will still be the same and we can still do rushes.
Okay, fantastic. That's really good to know. Also, so because of what is, I think, being forecast as a significant event in our economy, right? With the coronavirus, I know actually just recently, Illinois announced something pretty significant. What was that?
Yeah, we are shutting down. We're doing shelter in place. So they are going to shut down everything except for grocery stores, pharmacies. They did say they're keeping our title companies open, so we still will be able to do purchases. I do believe there may be a shortage on notaries that will go out to people's homes for the refinances. So I do think some of these refinances are going to get pushed back to May. But I know that the title companies are staying open, so I do think maybe if people will go into the title company, they could close their refinances that way. Mm-hmm. But I think some of the at-home closing may halt for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll stay tuned on that. We'll continue to have conversations and maybe revisit this in a couple weeks when we see, you know, what's going on, because personally, I wouldn't be shocked if Washington follows suit with Illinois and California, and we see a similar shelter-in-place order here in the next few days. So that'll be exciting. We'll just navigate those waters together. But okay, so that being said, do you think, is there any conversation in your industry right now about relaxing qualifying criteria as we move forward?
That's also a good question. So the only thing I've heard that they are going to relax is the appraisal waivers. I've heard that Fannie and Freddie are going to put even more properties into that where we don't need the appraisals and someone going into someone's home. I've heard that they're going to have a lot more of those where they're going to just accept it as is, which would be nice.
Yeah, okay. That's super helpful. And then I think the last, I mean, obviously this is fantastic. Thank you, because this really just answers all the questions that we've kind of been fielding. And as always, we will tell you, you want to speak to a qualified mortgage professional. Melissa would be one such person. So if someone's thinking about buying a home in the next 3 months, what should they be aware of in terms of the loan and escrow process? Obviously now there's some unknowns with the shelter in place orders, but what should they keep top of mind?
I would say, I think with all of this, we all kind of need to stay calm and work with each other. I think as long as everybody is working with each other to get, the loan closed, I think it's going to run the same way. I think if somebody loses a job or something like that, that could potentially obviously delay a closing until they're back working again. But I think other than that, it should go, relatively smooth. I would think unless something changes with the title company's closing, but as of now, it should be the same process as it is currently.
Okay, very good. And it'll be interesting to see as well from the real estate side of things. I know that we are shifting. We have all this amazing technology that allows us to do virtual showings, and you can pretty much purchase a home virtually, as much as your comfort level allows as we move forward. So even after a lot of this coronavirus piece starts to die down and we get back to a more normal life, which right now feels like it's never going to happen, and it will.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see how the industry just permanently shifts, because so much of this is also a convenience piece, right? I mean, and I think people are now looking at a lot of things differently. So it's going to be an adventure. But again, really, really appreciate you taking some time. I know you've been wild busy, so thank you so much. If someone wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to contact you right now?
They can either call me on my cell phone, which is 630-674-7102, or email works really well right now.
Okay, perfect. And we'll drop that contact information in the comments below, of course. But well, okay, that's all we have for you for the moment. So maybe, like I said, we'll revisit this in a couple weeks. But for now, you and your sweet family stay safe and stay sane. And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Nicole.
Thanks, Melissa.